Hello fellow builders, Crystal Run County welcomes you back to another video. The developers for the new town of Hillside Estates have surveyed the land. You can see some of the initial roads used by the survey team, have partnered with a famous golf course designer to build a beautiful golf course for this high society town. You can see the golf course area has been staked out, so let's get started. But before we do, I do want to take a second to acknowledge this is a longer video than usual, but I hope you hang in there and play around the golf with me at the end. So the first thing I want to work on is the country club and hotel resort. We'll use what I think is the academic library from the unique buildings section and place it on a nice hill. The idea here is to create a beautiful drive up towards the country club through a grand entrance. So what I'm doing here is picking a good spot, doing some terrain work, putting it flat because the building wants to be flat. And to create my grand entrance, I'm going to use the 2-lane European road from one of the content creator packs. And as you can see, I removed the land, and that's going to allow it to make a bridge. And then I'm going to raise the land back up. That way it gives the effect of looking like a road that's on the ground, but also having like this almost like stone fencing wall or kind of guardrail type look to it. It just makes the road look really elegant. I went ahead and placed the fountain from the campus in front, but I think what we'll do instead is use a fountain from the unique building section. So the fountain's not center, and what I'm going to do is center it. And to do that, what you need to do is blow up the road and I don't know how to say it, kind of trick the game in a sense by drawing a road that's not in step with the existing road. So you got to take all the snapping off and then draw the road so it's like slightly shifted. And then that way you can place the asset on that road and get it center and then destroy that and put the road back. It's a little hard to describe. You can kind of see it here and it looks good. It looks really good. So let's fast forward just a little bit. I placed down the gymnasium, community pool, 2 tennis courts, driving range, and framed out an area for some parking. Let's work on the first hole for our golf course. It's going to be tucked up in this area between the driving range and the interchange. It's going to be a par 4. And what we'll do first is raise the land up to create an elevated section where the green's going to be. And create a little bit of a backstop with the land to keep the ball from going on to the interchange area. I'll pull this out just a little bit. We'll elevate a spot for a tee box. And I just want to create a couple sunken areas for some bunkers. And the way I make the bunkers is a small piece of dirt road and then border that with the dirt path. It's probably the easiest way to do it. You could do a bunch of dirt paths if you want, or maybe even a bunch of dirt roads. It's just, it gets tough with the snapping. Whereas if you do the dirt road and the dirt path, they don't really snap to each other. So it makes it a little bit easier. You may have noticed I went into the naming of the road and just made it a period. That way it doesn't show like a name when you look at it. Let's do a little bit more shaping of the hole. Maybe move it back just a touch. That's looking really good so far. The next step is to add some trees. I'm going to use the oak tree from the new updated trees, as well as the conifer. That's local to the area. And then we'll throw in a couple alders, probably a couple beech, a couple of the old oaks. We'll use light as our pin. I'm going to use a trash can to indicate different tee off spots. If you're familiar with golf, and it's probably this way globally, there's different colored tee spots to indicate, where different levels of players tee off at. Typically in the US, red is for ladies, gold is for seniors, green is for beginners, white is for men, blue is for amateur, and black is for professional. But it might have slightly different meaning at different courses or different parts of the world. Might be different colors. That looks really good. Let's go ahead and create one more hole. This one's going to be an island green, bordered by sand on, we'll say, about 90% of the green itself. So once again, I'm going to use the dirt road, bordered by the dirt path. I'm just doing the ends. The ends seem to be the biggest pain to work with. And, you know, depending on how particular you are about this part of the process, I mean, it's just going to take you a while if you're really trying to get that dirt path right up against the dirt road. Of course, I'm streaming this, so I'm trying to do my best to make it look decent, but also not spend hours and hours just to make one bunker. Not great for streaming. And it looks good so far. Now I'm just going to go ahead and create an elevated spot once again for a tee box. This reminds me of one of the famous golf holes in the PGA Tour. Might be Pebble Beach. Not sure what course it is, where you have to hit down quite a bit on a par 3. It's right up against the water, I think, on Pebble Beach. But of course we don't have the water this far in, but I think this will do nicely. That looks good so far. I'll add some more trees just to give it some shape. Trees are very important because they do provide the look and shape of the golf hole. I'm going to spam a bunch of rocks down. It doesn't take as long as you think, because you just spam them down. But then any gaps and stuff that you might have, you can use some of the tall grasses and bush type vegetation to fill in. Makes it look really good. Add a little bit of the tall grass in front just to give it some texture. This is definitely a hole you don't want to come up short on and lose your ball in that rocks and bushes forever. Now let's go ahead and create the tee box. I think I'm going to border it with some flowers from the city park. I got lucky and the colors all matched up pretty close. And put some nice vegetation in here too. Well, we'll go ahead and take a look at the end result of that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and play around the golf. We'll drive up into the parking lot area, bordered by some nice views. Always like to use bordering the road. We park our car in the parking lot. Take the walking path up to the clubhouse to check in. The entrance to the golf club and hotel look beautiful. I love the vegetation. I love how that road looks. It kind of has that sweeping up look with the concrete wall on the side. Looks great. As we make our way out to the practice area, go ahead and walk by a nice area to get a drink or something to eat. Maybe a place that's very busy during a wedding reception or other major event. We got our 2 tennis courts, community pool, and gymnasium back here. Amenities for those staying at the hotel. got our driving range, and on the other side of that is a practice area. We have a little practice putting area, as well as a place to practice your chipping and getting out of the sand. Nice little spot to warm up before you play around. We have a nice place to grab some food if you want to take a break from practicing, or just grab something to take out with you on the golf course. Go to our first hole. We step up to the tee box, and this is a par 4. We hit our first shot out just in front of the bunker. Then we hit our second shot out onto the green. Hopefully 1 putt for a birdie or 2 putt for a par. Then we make our way off the green through a little walkway next to the nice pretty bushes. Back onto the cart path. Go underneath the road. Go back out on the other side. Walk ourselves up the path. Tee off onto this par 3. Of course, hit the shot onto the green, hopefully. Bring the cart around. Make ourselves up the walkway. Hopefully 1 or 2 putt in. Then we go ahead and go across the bridge. Past the next hole. Cross the bridge again. Underneath a road bridge. Across the zoo bridge. And come up to the next hole. This will be another par 4 dog leg right. We'll hit our shot out. So about here. And if we think we're lucky enough, maybe we hit straight over the water and try and drive the green. And our second shot onto the green. And there's a bunker in the back to help stop your ball. And of course penalize you if you overshoot. And you go through a walkway here. And really it's just a quick walk over to the next hole. This is a little bit longer par 4. You got sand on the right. Hit out to about the middle. Then you head up to an elevated green where it's easy for your ball to run off to the right into the sand. Hopefully you 1 or 2 putt it, come off the green here. Then we're going to take the cart path all the way around. Head over to the highway. And we're going to pass the maintenance area for the golf course, which has a tower for the communication so folks can communicate with each other throughout the course, as well as the farming, barrack, and maintenance building from the farming part of the Industries DLC, and the groundkeeper building from our liberal arts campus. And then we go up to the next hole. And we tee off onto this beautiful par 5 along the highway. And maybe our first shot lands right about here. Then we hit our second shot just past the trees and the bunker. And now we have to hit to the green over another bunker. And 2 putt for a par. And this green is protected by 3 bunkers, with 1 bunker having some nice beautiful trees in the back. Go through the pathway, back onto the cart path, and come down to a par 3. This green, like one of the other ones, is protected on most sides with sand. We have our airport in the background. And hopefully we can hit a decent tee shot and 1 or 2 putt for a par or a birdie. And we come through the pathway here. Up to the next tee box. Nice little dog leg left, par 4. We hit our shot hopefully just short of the cart path. And our second shot, we clear the bunker and land it on the green. And then we come back on our path and head towards the next hole, which is another par 3 island green over the water. Here we hit our shot up and over. Hopefully we clear the bunker in the front, or don't go too far and hit the bunker in the back. Or even worse, draw the ball a little bit into the nasty tall grass on the left side of the green. And we cross this nice European path, get onto the green, make our putt, get back into the cart, head on back. And if we're hungry at this point in the round, we have a cafe and bathroom and a seating area to grab us a nice meal as we're about halfway through the course. Then we get to the next hole, a little bit longer par 4. We hit our shot right about here in the middle. Then maybe we have a longer iron onto the green. Now we're going to make our way back onto the other side of the highway. But before we do that, let's take a nice aerial view of the area, just to see how the holes sit amongst the airport and some of the residents in this area. Looks really nice. I think the golf course blends beautifully into the tile edge. The residents sitting here real nice. Let's go ahead and jump back down, cross the bridge. Go on the right side here. Let's walk up the nice walkway up to the tee box. And here we have another longer par 4 with a pine tree in the middle. So we'll hit our first shot out to about where the pine tree is. Then our second shot onto the green. The green's protected by 2 bunkers in the front. Hopefully we 1 or 2 putt, come off the green. If we need to use the potty, there's a restroom on the right. Then we come to our tee box here, up this nice walkway, lined by these beautiful trees. Got some flower beds on the side. And then this is another par 4. This has some lumpiness to it with these hills that we'll hit our ball onto. Our second shot will hopefully land on the green, hopefully avoiding the bunker in the front. Now let's take an aerial view of these 2 holes nestled amongst the residential developments. Looks good. Then we come back to this hole here, a par 3 with the water in the back. It has a bunker in the back of the green to help prevent you from going in the water. And there's rocks in the front. And hopefully you make your putts, come off the green, get back on the cart path, make your way over the water. But before we do that, let's take a look at these 2 holes that are tucked in between the residents. That looks really pretty too. I'm really happy how this golf course turned out. It's pretty awesome. And one of the reasons why I wish we could purchase more than 9 tiles. Well, on to the next hole is a par 4, shorter par 4. You could be brazen enough to maybe drive the green, but we have sand in the front as well as some high grass, so it's really challenging if you fall short. And we have a nice walkway coming off the hole as well. Now let's take a look at these 2 holes. They look really pretty with the water. Now we go back under the main road. Go past our practice area in the first hole. Onto one of the last holes. It's the third from the last hole. Go through a nice little walkway through the sugar maples. And we tee off here. This is another longer par 4. With the pine tree in the middle. Hit it to about where the pine tree is. Then hit it onto the green. The green is pretty well protected by sand on 3 sides. And we get to the tee box for the second to last hole. Bordered by some nice flowers and the beautiful purple tree. And this one's another long par 4 and requires you to be able to draw the ball a little bit on your tee shot and put a fade on it on your second shot. You hit your tee shot out to about here. Then you have to fade it around the corner just a little bit to get onto the green. And then you can exit here. And the last hole is another tougher par 4. Requires you to draw the ball around this dog leg left. And hit the ball right about here. And hit a longer second shot onto the green. But the green is pretty large and accepting. And that's our round of golf. I hope you really enjoyed it. I love building golf courses. They're so beautiful in the city. It's a shame it's not part of the Park Life DLC. But despite that, you still can build a really beautiful golf course in City Skylines. We'll have to check out how Hillside Estates develops in the next episode. Until then, I wish you the best and brightest cities you can build. And as always, happy building.